And these protests in Hong Kong have implications for Beijing. If not handled properly, this could turn into a political headache for Xi Jinping if it isn't already. Protests are not new to Hong Kong. There have been many protests over the years, but this year's protests have been particularly striking. Under Xi Jinping, China has moved towards greater political conservatism and ideological rigidity.
We should have a sense of honour about Hong Kong, and we should have a specific sense of our obligations to the individual citizens of Hong Kong. And that means speaking up about what's been happening. It means working with our allies and friends in Europe, in Canada, in Australia, in the United States, to make it clear to China and to the government in Hong Kong, which is by and large manipulated or told what to do by Beijing and the United Front activists in Hong Kong. We should make it clear that this is not a policy or a succession of policies which we're prepared to stand by and ignore.
But the recent wave of protests comes at an inopportune time for Xi Jinping. Locked as he is in a trade war with the US, it also comes at a time when the Indo-Pacific strategies of some countries in the region and beyond are aligning with their respective security interests. Already, officials from India, the US, Japan and Australia have held regular meetings to coordinate their positions on the Indo-Pacific. Another problem is Taiwan, which has struck a discordant and some would say defiant note with Beijing. The Hong Kong protests prick a hole in Beijing's assertion of unifying Taiwan with China on the basis of this one country, two systems policy. Disturbances in Hong Kong will only help the US raise its profile in the Indo-Pacific and in particular Taiwan and Hong Kong. Clearly, Xi Jinping cannot afford to let the situation here drift. But the pictures, if they are anything to go by, this is going to be a very, very big challenge for the government of Xi Jinping for China to control. Protests swelling by the day in Hong Kong, taking a more dramatic, even violent turn.